Welcome to the Creation Kids Nursery Ministry team training video. Some of you may have said, oh, I did this before, but it's very different. I'm just going to do a little review, and then we'll look at some of the new stuff that's going on in the nursery. First, let me start with what happens when children come in. We have a parent sign in and sign out procedure. And so you will come over here and you will remove the bucket. You can actually have the parent do this and look at the symbol. Take out the parent tag and give that to the parent, which they must give you when they return to get your child. We lose more of them that way. Put this on the child's diaper bag if they have one, and then have the parent fill out the child's full name, parent name, place in the sanctuary, items left, and any health concerns. Ask them if their child is potty trained, and if they are, make note of that. This gets put on the child's back, and everything matches the same symbol, so we know who the child is. It's best if you take a couple of potty breaks during the time that you're down here with the children. Just come through this door, and this is the bathroom. Inside there is a toilet and a sink and a stool, potty chair, if needed to go on the toilet seat. Then, if new families come, please ask them to fill out this registration form and leave it here for us. Right now we still have a few families that have not updated their child's registration form from last year. So if you come in and that's the case, please ask the parent to update that, date it and initial it, and then we put it back up here. If you need to know something about a child, pull out their registration form right there. Also, if you have an emergency, here are the emergency telephone numbers and the people in the church who are nurses. Send someone upstairs to find a nurse, to find me. Faster might be to text me. These are all the numbers of the parents and my telephone number on there, so that if you have an emergency and you need me down here right away, even if a child is just crying inconsolably, feel free to text me and I will come right down. Sometimes the nursery runs out of supplies, and this is the supply sheet. It's right over here on the counter. Just check off what you see is needed and leave it there. Also, if a child uses the crib, please check off yes, used crib today on the attendance sheet, and I'll know to wash the sheets. Some other things, just some other little, nuts and bolts. Over here is the baby section, and you'll see that everything is labeled: diapers, wipes, gloves, whatever you need. We ask that you always glove for universal procedures. There is a little check sheet for changing diapers here for you to follow. There is a strap on this, and we ask that you strap in every child that you're going to change. This is the nursery section, the very young, crawling section of our nursery now. We have new learning stations this year, and they're first century learning stations. This is the village of Nazareth. And in Jesus's house, right now, there's a baby, and there's other babies that are over here, and you can play with the babies. And each learning station has a little card that you don't actually have to teach. All you have to do is use your imagination and play with the children. And the cards are there to kind of guide you along for some ideas. Over here in Mary's kitchen, you'll see that there's another card to guide you with some ideas about how to play in the kitchen. And there's lots of fun things. Mary probably cooked fish to cook for Jesus's dinner, and bread, and there's all kinds of things, even food that can be cut and played with. There's lots of things for baking under here to pretend. So children are encouraged to use their imagination, but they don't know much about the time that Jesus lived. So you can help them and use your imagination and make up stories with them about when Jesus lived. This mirror is going to be part of the dress-up center that will be here soon, probably November 1st, where children can dress up in biblical costumes and pretend to be Jesus and kind of play around or to be a disciple. Over here is the Sea of Galilee. Here's another pretending place. There's some ideas on your card, and there are also disciples and fish, and this is the Sea of Galilee itself, fishing poles, a boat, lots of stories that can come to mind for this. This over here is Potter's Creations. Sometimes there might be clay here, sometimes there might be paint here, and right now, this week, their kids are going to draw something God made, and they get to draw something that God made. Over here in Joseph's carpenter shop, they can build. They can build all kinds of things. And Jesus' dad, Joseph, was a carpenter. So you can make up stories about how Joseph taught Jesus to be a carpenter. And this is Solomon's building. There are all kinds of things that can be built in here. Last week we built Noah's Ark and sat inside of it and read the Noah's Ark story and played with animals. So there's lots of different things. These are little wooden tops. We can pretend that Jesus played with them when he was a boy, and the children can play with them. Over here, sometimes it gets a little crazy in the nursery. And so sometimes you kind of just need to have a little downtime. And so you might gather everybody in the Parable Story Center and sit them all down. There's lots of fun pillows that they can sit on. And you can sit in the beanbag chair, or if you don't want to go that low, you can always bring the rocking chair over. And there are lots of books. Right now, these books are Old Testament books. Thinking about stories in the Old Testament. So they can choose a book or a couple of books, and you can read a story to them to kind of calm them down. Snacks are sometimes needed in here, and we have snack mats with the children's names on them. There'll also be some new ones in here with some current pictures soon. But they can put those down on the floor, or you can clear off that white table in Potter's Creations. And there's usually an assortment of snacks here. There will also be some puffs here in case we get an infant, young, not an infant, but like a 1 or 2 year old that might not be able to chew crackers and pretzels and things like that. Let's see. Cleaning the toys. Now, there's lots of fun things to play with, so children's hands get touched, and touch everything, and their mouths too. So, even though it's not a very big bucket, do go around, and anything the children have been playing with, try to put the smaller pieces in the bucket. The other pieces you can just put on the counter here, and I come in throughout the week and clean everything, and then, use the bucket to put back the clean toys. So when you come in here on a Sunday morning, this nursery has already been cleaned and reset for some new play. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. So welcome again to Creation Kids Nursery Ministry team. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me. And just ask whatever, or email me or text me, and I will include that information when I send you this video. If you need to check and see when you're on the schedule, it's right here on the wall, as well as I text you every Wednesday if you are on that week, and every 3 months when I change the schedule, you will receive an email or a text letting you know when you are scheduled for, and if you need to change that, there'll be a deadline for changing it. But of course, we all have emergencies, so if you have an emergency on a Sunday morning, please just give me a call and we'll take care of it. Don't ever hesitate about that. It's never a problem. If you need to switch with another caregiver, the email that I send you or what I send you has the caregivers, the adult caregivers' telephone number on it. Feel free to switch with somebody. If you can't, if you have an emergency and you really need to leave town quick, but it's still enough time to switch with somebody, just text me and I will take care of it for you and let you know when you're reassigned. So that's never a problem. All right, thank you for watching this video.